Have y'all ever wondered what it feels like to be eaten by Godzilla? Or some other titans, like, you know, by King Kong? Bro, could you imagine being in that big monkey's mouth? Pause. I personally don't ever think about this, but you know who has? Yo, the man Goji Center. This dude got a mind, bro. He's got his imagination is vast. Now, in today's episode, we're reacting to what it feels like to be eaten by Godzilla and other titans by Goji Center. So, sit back, grab your snacks. Let's go ahead and enjoy this ride. Let's get it. My man Goji,
In the past, Goji Center has covered dozens
of
of ways in which several creatures could eat a human being.
Gotta cut it
But
down, it's a little
today,
loud.
we're going
Can't
to
think.
showcase a much different experience. Getting eaten by titans. In this episode, we have pre-selected a total of 6 MonsterVerse
So
titans
6 monsters
to
are gonna
illustrate
eat
the
me?
unique experiences that a human would go through
That
if
sounds
they ever
terrible.
got unlucky enough to find their way into the mouths of these hungry monsters.
I would not be
The
in that
journey
situation,
through
though.
Each titan will be different, bringing different levels of pain,
We
damage,
going-
and duration.
we going
Some
down
of
their
the
throats?
Stuff you're about to
Pause.
see will be a bit disturbing. So if you like this sort of stuff, make
Like
sure
the-
you follow or
like the video and
to be
subscribe,
the very
okay?
first
If
to
you like
witness
this stuff.
more
Like on
kaiju
Goji
carnage.
Center. It's not, you know.
Coming up,
mine
the
too.
literal journey inside the mouth of a MonsterVerse kaiju.
That sounds terrible. No.
Before we cover
All right, so our first
test
one
subject's
is who?
journey through a monstrous digestive tract will begin as soon as you're acquainted with the type of kaiju we're dealing with. In these simulations, we
No,
are well aware
no.
that some test subjects might not even make it to the creature's stomach alive. But to ensure
You
that
just
they
gonna
make
die
it
instantly,
as far
bro.
as possible, our kaiju will be instructed to swallow and not chew our test
Okay,
subjects.
so-
doing so would render this episode down to just a minute.
They're
Where's
making
the fun
it
in that?
as painful
to
as
begin,
possible.
We will study a titan who
Jesus.
is anatomically similar to us humans.
A
in
big
the
monkey.
Fact that the skeletal and
King
organ
Kong is our
arrangements
first kaiju.
very much resemble our own. Number 1, Kong. Our first test subject will be dropped inside Kong's mouth. While this happens, we will analyze closely what happens during its journey and find out how long this person can stay alive for.
Time out. If I'm getting eaten and he has a similar digestive system as me, I'm going in his guts and his stomach acid, and I'm gonna boil. I'm gonna die, bro. I'm gonna turn into a skeleton before I even get out his butt. Pause.
Kong's build is very similar to us humans, with a digestive tract that includes the mouth, esophagus, stomach, large and small intestine,
See?
etc.
And then we
It
get-
is what
we get-
happens
we get
in
turned
these
into Kong
locations
doo-doo.
that we will follow closely.
Golly, bro, this
in
is terrible.
Kong's Skull Island, we witnessed a crew member fall into the jaws of this massive titan. Note that this Kong
That
was
was a
just
little
a
mighty
teenager,
morsel,
meaning
tasty
that it was
snack.
much smaller than our present-day Kong, which measures somewhere around 335 feet in height. You're about to
Bro, could
find
you
out that getting swallowed
imagine?
by this larger Kong will allow you to live a little longer.
How long?
Let us explain.
You're still gonna die.
Once dropped inside the throat of this massive kaiju, it
That
would
poor-
probably
that poor
only
soul.
take you around 8 to 10 seconds to fall all the way to the bottom of Kong's esophagus.
And it's gonna hurt.
Accounting for all the friction you will encounter while
Has to hurt.
sliding. You are rapidly running out of oxygen and inhaling toxic gases that are found
Ugh.
inside the digestive system of organisms
why
that
they-
actively eat a variety of food sources.
Why they got Kong
Methane
over there
and
slurping
sulfur.
that thing
Inhaling
up?
these gases will cause irritation to your eyes, lungs, and breathing too much methane will
So-
cause you to throw up. But you're still
Will I
alive.
strangle okay,
You
no,
will now
no.
land into Kong's massive stomach. At this point,
This
you
is where
could
we die.
technically be considered as
It's
a
gonna stink
bolus,
down there
a chunk
too, bro.
of food that is entering the gastrointestinal tract.
Ugh, it's gonna
and
stink
you're
like
in
straight
for a beating.
gut.
Stomachs such as these have a
Acid.
mechanism
Ugh.
on the stomach lining that
Getting
pounds
sick
food
thinking about
in
it.
an attempt to break it down. But you're too small to be broken down. During this horrific, dark experience,
You're
your
telling me that I'm
presence
gonna be
triggers
alive?
the hormones to release acids to start breaking down your body.
Okay, see, the
How
acid's
fast?
coming.
Well, given that Kong is a carnivore that eats raw meat, its stomach acids need to be strong enough to break down
It's
bacteria
gonna break us
and
down
pathogens
quick.
that are
So we don't
ingested.
even gotta stay alive
This
to come out of his
hydrochloric
booty cheeks,
acid
you know what
in
I'm saying?
smaller creatures would be comparable to
am I
car
saying, bro?
battery acid. But you're
That's
now
nasty,
getting
bro.
showered
That
by
is
this
nasty.
stuff, meaning that this overwhelming amount of corrosive material would eat through your skin in a matter of moments. Your outer layer of skin is
look at
gone,
that. You're
and now
done.
it's eating
You're
into
done.
your flesh. You're dead at this point with
Dead.
an estimated duration of
Okay.
around 1 to 2 minutes.
That's the worst 1 to 2
Eventually,
minutes. It
your body
probably
would
feels
turn
like an
into a
eternity.
pulp and be digested along Kong's long
And then-
intestines.
and then we get turned
Believe
into
it or
the
not,
dookie.
this is the longest you will last inside
That's
a kaiju
crazy, bro.
digestive system.
That's crazy.
Coming up, a
Wait, the
similar
longest
but
will last?
very
Okay,
quick
cool.
journey through a hypervorous creature.
Yeah,
Number 2,
Skullcrawler seems like it'd be a little faster.
We have covered what it would feel like to get eaten by a skullcrawler before, but this time you're getting swallowed, and we'll go into a little bit more detail. This skullcrawler we have here is a juvenile. Although smaller, these are all capable of swallowing an average-size human.
Well, how do
whole.
you
But
get
how long can this victim
digested?
survive? Let's find out.
I'm
Unlike
interested
Kong,
in this one.
the digestive process of these animals is a lot different than your conventional eat, digest,
Oh, he got acid
poop
just
cycle.
straight out of there, bro.
As our test subject travels down the skullcrawler's
You just come straight out of his butt,
the
or what?
human will find it ever increasingly more difficult to breathe oxygen
Oh,
thanks
you're
to
dead
the
right
gases
there.
emitted by this creature's stomach. Shortly after, this guy will fall into a stomach full of green bile, ready to digest the proteins found
Nasty.
in your body. Keep in mind that this green bile will most likely be already present, ready to digest you. The reason is because there is more than likely other stuff inside already being digested, since these animals are hypervores.
What is a
Animals with a
hypervore?
metabolism that demands that they must always eat.
There it
An
is. I
animal
should've
with
just shut
such
up.
instincts will be forced to be on the lookout for the next meal at all times, inducing stress.
I feel like
So it
this one
just so
sucks 'cause
happens
you're
that
just going
animals that are
straight
going
into the
through
acid,
stress
bro.
will regurgitate their food. Or in other words,
That's
spit
disgusting.
it back out to focus
That is
their energy on
nasty.
hunting or fighting instead of
It's
digesting
like a steak?
as a way to relieve itself of the bulk of its meal. So you've made your way inside the stomach of the skullcrawler.
So it doesn't
This
poop me out.
green bile washes you with corrosive agents so strong that it dissolves your skin and flesh, similar to what happened in Kong's stomach.
Yeah, but how
the
fast,
difference
though?
here is that after your flesh and organs are all digested, you will be vomited. We are stepping
That's
into the realm of
disgusting.
speculation, but it is likely that juvenile skullcrawler digestive systems are incapable of digesting bones, causing them to spit you
spit my
back
bones
out
back
in order
out?
to possibly
You
relieve
eat my meat.
themselves from any
And
extra
then you
weight
spit
so that
my
they
bones
may
back
hunt
out?
their next prey. The amount of time that you
I'm
were
cool
alive
off
in this
this, bro.
skullcrawler would probably last just under a minute, since the concentrated bile would expel enough toxic gas to knock you unconscious. Either that or you suffocate once pushed into a mush of half-digested carcasses in the skullcrawler's stomach.
That sounds
At least
terrible.
you made it halfway through the digestive system.
this sounds
Your
like-
trip
this sounds
through
like
the next
hell.
Titans will
This is
probably
terrible.
end a lot faster. Number 3, Rodan.
Rodan gon'
Up next,
I don't want to
we
get eaten
encounter
by
a Titan
him.
whose
I don't want to get
biology
eaten by
will
any
make
of
it
these
a
guys.
lot more difficult for you to survive
Ah.
an extended trip down this animal's throat. Now, if you know anything about this monster, you will recall that this creature can thrive in superheated biomes.
Oh, you
and as
dead
far as
instantly,
being
bro.
biologically volcanic
Instantly.
in terms of anatomical composition. Yes, the big angry bird's temperature skyrockets above the
You gonna
previous
boil
Titans,
to death, bro.
matching the temperature
You're cooking
seen
right as soon as you get in
inside
his mouth.
volcanoes. Well, how hot are these? Magma is said
Extremely
to reach
hot.
up to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. In order to give you an idea of how hot that is, it takes temperatures of 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit to burn a human to a crisp.
Bruh, we're
assuming
getting
you
burnt
stay
to a
inside
crisp
the
as soon as
fire,
we get in his
which
guts.
will be your case inside Rodan's body.
That sounds
In
like
2019, we witnessed this pilot
very
get
painful.
eaten by Rodan. But how long did it take for this dude to die?
Instantly.
Let's find out.
I'm pretty sure
As
he
we
died
drop our test
on
subject
contact into
inside
the gut,
Rodan's
bro.
mouth, we start noticing that he starts to react to the intense heat.
Okay.
Rodan's fleshy tissue is resistant to these intense temperatures, but yours isn't. In a matter
So
of
right in
moments,
his
your body begins
esophagus,
to
you
literally cook while
burn?
you're still alive. Making contact
Oh.
with Rodan's esophageal
This sounds
walls,
terrible,
for
bro.
instance, will be like making
This sounds
contact
terrible.
with lava itself,
No.
causing instant third-degree burns all over your body.
You haven't even
The
been
good
digested.
news is that you
just
don't
got
feel
in
third-degree
his throat.
burns because the nerve endings get burned as well. But the edge of those burns are excruciatingly painful.
Yo, that's wild.
Your journey sliding down
That's-
through Rodan's esophagus
So
will
my man,
end
you lose all
early,
your
since
hair,
you probably
your clothes
won't
is
make
burnt
it
off.
anywhere near this animal's stomach
Your
before
back
turning
is
into
burnt.
burnt
Look at him.
matter,
Look at the back
making
of
your
his
trip
dead.
track lasts just around 10 to 20 seconds.
Oh,
Your
okay,
body
cool,
was
you're
too
done.
small to maintain its integrity all the way down this animal's esophageal
That's
tract,
crazy.
leaving you more burnt than that well-done steak you ordered last Saturday night.
That's wild.
The next Titan might do the same thing to you, but with different means
Oh,
of
God.
doing so.
Ghidorah is the Monster
Number
Zero.
4,
Okay.
Monster Zero. After providing absolutely
This
no
is crazy. I
nutritional
would not
value
wanna-
to
no,
Rodan,
I don't wanna
we
live
are
in a
now
world
about to
with
find
Titans,
out
bro.
if our
I'm
next
cool.
test subject will suffer the
pass.
same fate
No,
or
thank
be
you.
useful at all to our next kaiju, Monster Zero, or Ghidorah. We have witnessed this guy eat someone before, but fortunately
It doesn't
for
look
her, she
pleasant.
most likely died upon impact, sparing her from what probably followed after. Before we throw our dude through one of these throats, let's take a quick moment to understand something very important.
Yeah.
This kaiju's biology. The
What is-
composition of this kaiju has lots of traces of
So
aura
what happens
or gold. And
between
it
the
just so
three
happens
throats?
that
When do
this
they meet to
material is a
one
perfect
stomach,
conductor
you
of
know?
electricity. In addition to that, it is said that this kaiju had electroreceptor molecular biology.
So you gonna get
transferring
electrocuted as you go
currents
down?
everywhere. This is seen in how electricity seems to make its way throughout all parts of this creature's body. Consequently, it is only feasible
Oh,
to
you're
think that
absolutely
someone
getting
dropped
electrocuted
inside the
as you
mouth
go
of
down his
Ghidorah
throat.
would only survive for a few seconds before
Instant
succumbing
death.
to the energy levels running through his body. Almost as if every surface of this animal's
You're getting
esophageal
electrocuted.
tract was a taser.
That sounds
meaning that any
terrible.
muscles would contract
Brain damage.
all at once.
Oh,
and
you're
the heart
done.
stopped
You're
as
done.
a result of the excess in
Instantly.
electricity. And in some cases, people who are exposed to shocks like these
Yikes.
will sometimes urinate or even defecate themselves.
telling me
in
I'm
the
gonna poop my
process.
pants, bro?
We'd like to think
I'm
that
peeing
your
and
roller coaster
pooping on
journey
myself
through
as
this
after I
track
slide down
will
his
last
throat.
no more than around 5 seconds.
5 seconds, cool.
If
I'm
you
out.
think
I'm
about
done.
it, that
I think
is
I
a
want to die by
very
him.
long time
If
getting shocked
if that
from
was
all
to happen,
directions. Your body may or may not make it to this creature's
I'm
stomach.
cool. I'm
if
cool
it
with
has
losing
one,
to
depending
Ghidorah,
on how
bro.
much of it disintegrated.
I feel
during
like that'd be
trip
the
down.
fastest. King Kong,
If you think this
terrible.
happens too fast, wait till you see what happens to our next test subject.
Oh man, we're talking
Number
Mechagodzilla.
5,
This
eaten
probably is
by
a violent death,
Mechagodzilla.
crushed by heavy
This
machinery,
is a
bro.
titan that
no.
is not necessarily built
No.
to eat anything at all, but it is good at processing anything that makes its way through its jaws. If you have seen our episodes covering Mechagodzilla, you are now well acquainted with the many weapons this thing possesses.
Yeah,
But
it's got
one of
like,
the most gruesome was its set of grinders located
Yeah, grinders
inside
in its
its
throat.
jaws.
Look at that, bro.
There is no
I'm
trachea
not going
to
through that.
travel
That's
down.
your
So
instant minced
instead,
meat.
we will
You're-
just drop our test subject into its bottom jaw
This gotta
and
hurt.
see what happens.
This gotta hurt.
These grinders are exceptionally well purposed to grind larger chunks of meat, which makes grinding a human as if it wasn't even there.
That sounds
The flat
terrible.
surfaces on these grinders would flatten you to
No.
a pulp in a matter of seconds. This
Y'all wanna
particular test
die by
subject
that
was
one?
unlucky
This seems
to
like
get
the
crushed
worst
legs
one.
first,
You're
meaning
getting
that
turned
he would
into,
have
like,
felt
minced meat,
every
bro.
single last
Ground
bone of his
human,
body
not ground
crushed
beef.
until his upper torso
Ground
followed,
Kyle? No,
and
thank you. I'm out.
finally
Hard
his
pass.
head. The level of pain
Ugh.
from falling in this machine would depend on what angle you fell into
Ugh.
these grinders. If you ever happen to fall into one of these,
That's
go
what you gonna look
head
like,
first.
chunky.
Now is time to move on to the last
Bruh.
kaiju on
Who's
this
the last
list.
one? Is it Godzilla, bro?
Number 6, eaten
My
by
homie Godzilla, bro. I don't think I want to be eaten by any of
Getting
these
eaten
titans, but
by
if I
this
had to,
kaiju is unique in that you might actually make it further down than you initially think, but it will really depend on what mood or state Godzilla is currently in.
does he poop?
Monster vs. Godzilla, as
think
we
I would
know
survive?
him, appears to
His-
have many
his
different
entire
states.
intestines?
His normal, non-aggressive
not.
state,
Probably
his
not.
radioactive display,
Oh,
and
bro.
burning state.
Think about his radioactive
Obviously,
state.
getting
You're
swallowed by the
done.
burning state
You're-
only means that you'll catch fire before even making contact with Godzilla.
I guess that
But
might be
what
the way.
about the other ones? A Godzilla in normal state would still be something to watch out for in terms of temperature and most definitely radiation. Radiation poisoning will most likely occur, but that sort of damage could potentially take a couple of hours to completely kill. Now, admittedly, this
Excuse
is a
me,
one-of-a-kind
couple hours?
wild card, since we aren't completely sure what
Couple
Godzilla's
of
digestive
hours?
system looks like, if he
Nah.
even has one. But what we do know is that Godzilla is bionuclear, meaning that the insides of his body have to be steaming hot. And
Yeah, so
there
you're
should be
done.
parts of his body that help regulate or expel that heat. Probably why he spends most of his time in the water. But
I never
anyways,
thought about
let's
that.
return
That's
to our
actually
final
kinda
test
clever.
subject, who will be dropped inside Godzilla's throat.
This poor
Here
test
we
subject,
see
bro.
the human making his way down
That
Godzilla's
sucks, bro.
esophagus,
That's
while at the
terrible.
same time making contact with the esophageal
Oh yeah,
walls.
he done.
How hot is this place? A good reference is to compare it to the temperature of an organic cooled heavy water moderated reactor,
Oh,
which
so
can
you-
reach temperatures of up to 752
Yeah, you burn it to death. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1004 degrees
Cooked.
Fahrenheit.
Mans
Keep in
is
mind
cooked.
that this is a Godzilla in a normal state. These temperatures
like a
are
little
enough
Tootsie
to
Roll.
cause your own internal liquids to boil and cook a human body alive.
That body's gonna
This,
pop, bro.
unfortunately, would be a gradual process.
That sounds
After a few
terrible. You just
seconds,
got
your
steamed to
organs,
death in
including
his
your
throat.
brain, will fail to function.
Lethal
Your
radiation.
blistered
Oh my
body
God, he
will
looked
have
like a
made it
zombie.
to the next stage of this animal's esophageal tract. Whatever that may be. A stomach full of acid, a gizzard full of bionuclear flammable material.
disgusting,
Who
bro.
knows? What is certain is that no human will survive.
Yeah, no.
Are there other Titans out there that could provide our test
I'm
subjects
cool.
with a more gruesome experience?
That
Let us
was
know what you think in
pretty
the
gruesome
comment
already,
section.
Goji.
For
You
more
know what I'm
content
saying?
on your favorite kaiju and
Bruh.
crazy science fiction what-if scenarios,
Those are some terrible ways to die. I don't want to be eaten by any of them. But if I had to, Rodan is my choice. Let me know in the comment section below. Who would y'all want to be eaten by? I'm trying to go out as fast as possible if I'm getting eaten by a freaking big Titan, bruh. But thank you guys for always rocking with your boy. If you guys like this video, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. And let me know what else y'all want me to react to. My boy Sebastian actually requested this one. So big shout out to you. Thank you, Sebastian. And until next time, hey yo, we'll catch y'all on the next one, baby. Peace.